What's going on, traders? Are you guys ready to get back to the trading action? It's going to be one of those days where we could have ourselves a rally or we could have ourselves a turnaround. Stick right here on live trading to find out what happens.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. I mean, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Good morning, traders. Yes, we're back at it. Melanie, I think Ali beat you, but I don't know how that one works out. You let them know. I see you guys battling to be here first. I'll tell you what, who's also here. It's Ryan Faluna in the headquarters. You guys see it, the lightning on the back shoulder. That means we're ready to get after it here. Bringing the thunder is Ryan here. The thunder, Melinda. What is it? What is the old-fashioned quote? What is it from Rocky Balboa? You see, failing today.
I'm not
sharp today, team. I'm ready to go back to bed, team, but that's just me. Let's get to the market. Ryan knows I'm on the struggles today, man. But hey, that's life, right? We're never gonna be always 100. All we can do is roll with the punches, baby.
I'll say this: an 80% Mitch is better than a 0% Mitch. So I'll take it.
Yeah, you know how it is, man. And right now, I will let you guys know, I'm feeling a little bit out of tune with the market. And that's going to happen, team. Yeah, I think it's very important to understand when you're in the zone and when you're out of the zone. Right now, definitely out of the zone. And it doesn't help when I come in the morning, right, and just get whacked, right? Well, this morning, getting whacked down this morning, definitely oil up, hitting me this morning out of those trades, but definitely. As I woke up this morning, got to the computer, just got smacked. And so we can talk a little bit about those positions. XOM definitely out of that one. Also out of Chevron, also taking a hit there. They're not big hits. Like I still haven't lost let's say over 12% that I made in the last couple of weeks on oil. But have we given back some of the gains? Yes. And I think that that's important to try to avoid as much as possible right now, especially in an uncertain market. Next trade that I will have to work out also towards the open, could get out of it right now, but I'm going to see what happens, is Google. Got hit on this one too. So it just seems like right now, not on top of it. And what frustrates me is that yesterday I had a good trade on Google and just went after it later in the day with some kind of swing trade size and taking a beating as you guys can see that up action after hours. We'll see what happens today. It just seems like right now the SPY seems to be wanting to climb out and break out, even though we're in a bank crisis. This is where a little bit last week I felt like I was leaning a little bit more on the fact that I wasn't even paying attention to really the banks like kind of collapsing. And I was looking for more of the bullish outlook. And maybe that was the better outlook, right? And I feel like maybe I should have stuck with that. But should have, could have, would have, doesn't matter now, right? And what matters now is to see what happens in the price action. We do look like we're trying to get back there through the 400s. And if we get to let's say 406, there's no reason why the market can't break out, right? We're closer towards interest rates not rising anymore. And if there's no bank concerns, is this just opening the door for a big breakout run? That's where it gets very difficult because investing here is really binary, right? If the banks have more contagion, we could just blow through and have an elevator move down. But if we keep climbing the walls of worry, we could stair step our way all the way into a new bull market. So this is where it gets to the point where I'll tell you the truth, team. I'm more on the sideline now than ever, right? And I think that that's the important outlook here. It's not guessing which way it's going to go, but more reacting once we actually see that outlook. But hey, you guys know how it is. It's never easy here, and I never try to make it seem like it's easy because if you hear anybody say that it's easy, I'd call them out on it. There's no such thing as an easy market, but let's get to the action. We'll talk a little bit more about it. And one thing's always for sure, team, smash it up. I'll be transparent. let's get to the let's start taking a look to see what else is moving today. Of course, energy's up, but it seems like everything's up today. So we'll see if anything changes on that tune. I'm not even going to get into certain stocks today because, like I said, I'm not feeling in tune with the market. So when I'm not feeling in tune with the market, what do I want to do more of? Just react to price reaction moves, wait for those moves to happen, and then to look to see if we can jump on them. So that's going to do it for at least my outlook here. I'll kick it to my man, Ryan, and then, of course, I'll be back before the bell.
Okay, sounds good, Mitch. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the SPY. First thing that I want to highlight here, you're already getting some really great advice, if you will, here from the chat. Jay Rice, good morning. Good to see you again. You get 5% in a trade, you have to take it. That's the market that we're in. Amen to that, brother. That's what I've been saying for a couple of weeks. When you get gains, take them. This is not the type of market where a single is necessarily going to turn into a home run. If you get gains, don't be afraid to take them. Don't be afraid to set up. Like Mitch, got a lot of stuff or a lot of cash on the sidelines. The problem for me is that I still feel like there's another shoe to drop in this market. I still think that there's another leg down, another bad set of news that's going to come out. We'll see if it's the debt ceiling in June or whenever that's supposed to be. We'll see how that all goes. But I still feel like there's another leg down. So it's hard for me to get into the camp of a new bull market, bullishness, the whole 9 yards. And when we look at the SPY here, it's important to keep in perspective. So Mitch is right. We're gapping up here today. We're trading up here today, but let's put it into perspective. First of all, we are currently trading above the current downtrend. So it does look like we actually want to break out of this downtrend, at least right now, but the market hasn't opened. 10 minutes until the open here. Let's see where we are when we close. Let's see where this candle closes. It's totally possible that we trade up to that 400 level that Mitch already gave you. That would actually coincide with the 50-day moving average here and then get rejected there, maybe even trade a bit above it and turn around and reverse. If you recall on Monday, I said, hey, we're up here, but let's see what happens. Let's wait and see how the rest of the day goes. Well, we bled most of those gains back and actually closed red on Monday. Here's that candle from Monday. So, let's see where we go today. Looking really good today. One of the things that we're up on here is the Lululemon report. We also had Micron's reports. Let's take a quick look at that. First of all, Jay Rice, again, not to keep harping on it, but to bring it up again, you had said that on your short, you definitely needed to be out before earnings. Well, gosh, that sure looked good. I know that you were out a little bit earlier, but this is exactly why you're out before earnings. Huge pop here in Lululemon. And we're up 15% from yesterday's close, up 50 points. 50 points. Couple of things to note here. First of all, they're reporting the holiday quarter. Okay, they're reporting their holiday quarter. This is arguably going to be their best quarter. So that's probably why we're seeing such a huge pop here. You can see we're actually kind of popping right into this resistance area. This has some pretty good resistance at 387, currently at 370. So we'll see where we end up going. Jay, you're saying I got stopped out at 300. I know that you were all out of that, but you had said when taking this trade that no matter what happens, you were going to be all out before earnings. And what I'm highlighting here is that I don't think that there were a lot of people that thought we were going to pop 50 points or 15%, 16% on Lululemon. That's exactly what we got here. So I wonder if there were actually more people lined up on the short side to cause this to pop. Anyway, my point is that you had a plan. You wanted to get out before the binary event. And this is why. Look at what happened at that binary event. Really traded up there. I'm actually going to be watching this over the next week or two for a potential short. And we can actually use options in order to do that. I suspect the consumer will continue to weaken. And I suspect that $150 pair of yoga pants is not going to be something that's shopped for as frequently. And I think that might end up hitting Lululemon. But we'll see. Yeah, huge pop here. Going to keep it on radar for a potential short. The other thing that we got yesterday is we got Micron's report. Now, not an outsized move like Lululemon, but we are up here. We're up about 2.5%, a little bit more than that. Thing to keep in mind on Micron here is the sideways channel that we've been in. This is where we need to break out from. for me. Looks like it's going to try to break out of this formation, but maybe take a short here at 62. Again, do this with puts, define your risk ahead of time, the whole 9 yards, and then maybe reshort here at 64. I don't see it breaking out of this consolidation, but we'll see. It's been crazy. If we do get the next bull market, maybe it will. Micron, I want to see again how this closes today. I know we're up here. And then the other thing to mention is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is up here today as well, so those Bitcoin plays likely to be in play. Crow says those Lulu pants are amazing. It's like the pants have filters. I'm wearing them right now, Crow. It's difficult for me because I like the product. I understand the bull case. I'm just not sure that this is the environment for it. Now, yesterday, obviously, we're trading up here. So big earnings. So anyway, we'll see. Let's go ahead and take a look at the movers real quick. Then we can go through some of the things that you folks have on the docket. We're going to start here with Mara, right? So again, some of the Bitcoin stocks, Bitcoin making a big move here today. Some of the stocks are going to be in play here. For Mara, looks like it's really kind of holding the 760. Let's see what happens. Does it end up holding this? Do we end up curling? Do we go test that 779, 780 level and maybe a pop above? We'll see. Riot, you could also add to this list as well. In fact, let me go ahead and take a look here at Riot. I haven't actually looked at it. This is up 5.3% here, and this actually came back in towards that 850 level. Interesting thing here about Riot is that I didn't draw any lines here. In fact, when I'm at the headquarters here, my horizontal line tool is set to orange, and I don't mind it because it helps me remember when I actually put those trend lines on, and they're quite easy to see, so I end up not changing it. But these blue ones are ones that I added at home. So we're actually totally dancing along this 850 level. Let's see if Riot and Mara hold and give us trades to the upsides here today. Next here is going to be JFin. This is a Chinese company. This had a big pop here. Chinese e-commerce company. They have a catalyst here. They have good earnings, better than expected results. To me, I'm going to completely pass on this. I'm not even going to bother with it. I understand some of you might, so it's worth mentioning some of these levels. As you can see, we're as high as 454 earlier. We're right back down, right beneath that 4 handle. I don't trust it. I'm not going to trade it. I think there's going to be better opportunities, but it is a big mover here this morning, so it is worth mentioning. Next here is going to be EBS. This is Emergent Biosciences. And as you can see, we actually did pop as high as 11, came all the way back down to 9, and here we are again at 1060. In fact, it looks like it's going to take out this formation here to the upside. We do have a catalyst here. Emergent Biosciences shares are trading higher following reports. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved the company's naloxone nasal spray for over-the-counter use. I don't even know what it does. That would be something to look into. But technically speaking here, first one's going to be 1075. I'm actually going to bring this down 1 cent here, 1075 right there. And then we do have this pot. This is up at 1098. All right. So this resistance area, we'll see if we can end up getting back, or we'll see if we can end up getting over this. Remember, this stock came from about just the $9 handle yesterday. Let's actually take a look at the 15-minute and see if there's any other key areas that we can identify here. Looks like we popped right back into this. So the next key area up here, I would put right here. And then also right here, right? So a couple of different levels here. We'll see if we end up testing these here today. That's ticker EBS, Echo Bravo Sandy. We already talked a little bit about Lululemon. This one having a huge morning. Again, one of the things that I'm waiting for is a short. I want to see if that sets up. PYXS. This we ran yesterday. Again, I wasn't here with you folks yesterday, but I'm sure that this amazing chat was on top of it, finding the plays. Let's see if we have. Oh my gosh, where is the mouse? There we go. Geez. Let's see if anyone was talking about PYX. I don't see it in the chat. I don't see it. Okay, well, I don't see it here, but oh no, Crow. Hey, welcome back, Crow. I like the new image of the crow with the suit and all sharp. That's sweet. But it looks like you traded PYXS yesterday, and you're absolutely right. We might have continuation here today. Crow, you're saying PYXS is your main watch today. Okay, cool. So let's first of all, intraday high yesterday, 419. I believe in the after hours. Is this the morning today? No, this is yesterday. Yep. Okay, so yesterday, so here we go. Perfect. Let's go ahead and mark the top of this off as well. I'm going to go back to the 1 minute so we can get a granular view here. So yesterday, and actually this is a cent higher. Pardon me. 450 going to be your next spot here. This was what we couldn't get over in the after-hour session yesterday. We actually made an attempt at that here this morning, unable to get over that. Let's see where we end up going. As far as support goes, I'm going to mark off these levels as well. And then I also want to mark off the intraday supports from yesterday, as those might come into play as well. So we'll see if we can get some continuation here. We're actually currently above the VWAP, currently right at or slightly above that 419, 420 area. Let's see if we can actually make a run at 450. Again, Crow telling you this is going to be his main watch. Crow also saying, I think it will take out and go red, then go back green. So you think that it's going to fake out. I'm with you on this. I'll be honest, Crow. The big movers seem to do that, right? They seem to dip a little bit at the open, find a support level, curl, and then blow through some of those key levels. It looks like PYXS could set up in that fashion. So we'll go ahead and see. Real quickly, I know we're running out of time here. ENVX, this is also up today. We'll see if it can take out that 220, 225 area on ENVX. We already mentioned Bitcoin. That includes Mara, Riot, Coin, HUT, Bitto if you're going to trade the ETF. And then we're also seeing some of these SPY and semiconductor ETFs like SOXL. Those are getting some moves here today. So let's see if maybe we'll trade the inverse to that. We'll see. I can see that looking on here, nothing really that stands out other than that. That's pretty much it. So we're going to go ahead and watch PYXS off the open. I'm going to watch ENVX2. I'm going to skip JFIN completely. Maybe watch EBS as well. And then again, going to stock Lulu over the next several days for a potential short. 370 seems to be that area. Oh, Matt, bringing up AMC. So do we want to talk about that? AMC, of course, we got rumors yesterday that Amazon might actually buy the distressed movie company, AMC. That actually caused AMC to pop. This would be worth noting. I'm glad that you brought this up, Matt. Shout out to you. Maybe we can actually curl and make a move back towards that 530, maybe even a bust above 530. That'd be pretty cool. That would put 553 in play. Again, news here is that Amazon, there's some rumors going on. That's what these pink things in the news feed are. I highlight my rumors in this pink color. So again, had some rumors here about Amazon considering buying it. One of the things that we discussed in the happy hour show is one of the things that's really appealing for Amazon is that these movie theaters might not necessarily be a movie or content play. These movie theaters are actually pieces of real estate that can very easily be changed over to distribution centers. So again, we'll keep an eye on some of those, and we'll see if AMC is in play here today.
Nike looking interesting, just bounced off of 118.55. Taking a look at Nike, of course, off of Lululemon, sympathy here, sympathy play. I don't think this is a bad play here. I just want to see some real bottoming action here right out the gates here, and then I can take a shot. As you can see, we already got that downside action, but if it cuts through that 118.50s, you definitely got to be careful. The only thing that is like holding me back right now, it's about a 10-point spread on Nike. So looking to see if we can bottom one more time and then look for the turnaround through the 119s. We'll see what happens. Also keep an eye on to see what happens on Lulu, right? Of course, we've got to keep an eye on it. SPY pulling back as it went towards that 400 right out the gates.
All right. And pardon me, I'm going to probably be a little bit slower here as I have a slightly different computer setup, so I can't execute and spot things quite as fast, but I will do my absolute best. Worth noting, PYXS, our main watch here today, pulling back off that opening print.
All right. Nike just put in another kind of bottoming towards 118.60s. Going to look to see if we start to see a turnaround back upwards. Good risk off of that 118.60s if we see the reversal action. Trying to be slow towards that move. Don't want to be too quick. Lulu did pull back out the gates, right? That's this left chart. Kyle Main is one. Play had some earnings today. What other stocks I can mention here that I think we got to keep an eye on? How's Micron doing? Micron, nice little rip out the gates on Micron. So tech could be ripping here, team. Be careful. I like Nike now. Nike's reversal here. Let's see if I can grab a little piece here.
Apple at highs, Tesla at highs along that tech line.
Okay, just grabbed a little bit there of Nike at 118.82s. Trying to add to it on pullbacks.
Ryan, my man out here. I don't have the full-on NATO calls memorized, and I don't have my little cheat sheet in front of me. So I went with the first S I saw. That was Sandy. But you're right. It's supposed to be Sierra. appreciate that.
All right, got a little piece of Nike there. We'll see if it comes a little bit higher here. We'll see those tech names kind of give a nice little push. So Nvidia pushing higher, AMD pushing here, Micron out the gates, nice little push towards almost 62 here. So we're going to look for a pullback on that one. Really strong, nice move, even though the earnings weren't even that great, team. So that just shows us how bullish tech is right now. We'll see if this can take that next step. Also looking to add a little bit of Nike towards 75s. We'll see if we were able to get that.
A lot of strength and a lot of different names here. Voodoo, commitments through Sunday. No problem, man. I actually think I'm going to be back pretty soon here. One of my teammates is actually moving here, and we might do a couple of golf runs in the near future. So I'll keep you posted.
All right, Micron trying to continue, just ripped towards 6250s. So SOX L in play today as that's pushing a little bit higher. You can see probably the Q's pushing up also. Relative to the SPY, look at the SPY down, Q's up. That's actually interesting, right? When do you see that relationship, Ryan? You don't see that too often.
SPY down, Q's up.
Yep.
Is that what you said? Yep.
All right, just added on that Nike pullback here into the 60s. Now we'll look to see if it can turn around here, really not cut through the 118.40s, risking about 30 cents here. We'll see if it makes the up move or not. Lulu's still coming down here, so we'd like to see Lulu reverse. But, of course, if it doesn't, keeps cutting down, we might not see it there. Tech names were strong out the gates. We'll look to see if that can kind of hold that relationship. How's Tesla doing right now? Tesla
highs. Pushing highs.
Looking around, team, just trying to find moves and then keeping an eye on this Nike trade to see how it works out.
Worth noting that the VIX really kind of bottomed here at about 19. I have a low print in today's pre-market or after-hour session yesterday. No, it's the pre-market today, 1916. Every time we get down to the teens, 18, 19, and there was one time where we dipped to the 17s, VIX really seems to bottom and then turn up there. Let's see if we get that action here today. Could still go a little bit lower here. Remember, at 1930 right now on the VIX, but that's going to be something else that I'm watching here. Palantir spiking as well. Apple and Tesla still at the highs. And I also see ARCT. This is Arcturus Therapeutics. We did have a catalyst on this one too. Shares are trading higher if the company reported better than expected Q4 EPS and sales results. We'll see if this can actually pop above 20 and get some juice here. Volume's pretty decent here today. But again, we're still, that's ARCT, Alpha Romeo Charlie Tango. I think I got all those right. Let's go back and check on PYXS.
Actually like that move on ARCT. It's an interesting pullback after a nice little attempted push here. How's the hourly levels look there? Pullbacks to hourlies look good at around 1943s. Today it cut through it, recovered there. So maybe a little pullback closer towards 1950s, but it's already there back into the 20s. Doesn't look too bad.
No, it doesn't. And PYXS here knifing, but trying to hold 4. So it's important to keep this in perspective here. Let me throw my charts up and we'll talk. Yeah. We'll show you what I'm talking about. So the first move here, definitely down on pretty good volume. So I understand why that would scare out or shake out some of the weak hands from this name, especially anyone that held it overnight yesterday from yesterday's session. But we seem to be holding 4, and you can see we've actually already dipped to this level. We actually broke through here and dipped to 392 and still bounced. So here we go. Maybe this is starting to bounce here. Watch PYXS here. No position for me. Again, I'm a little bit slower here today, but this one may bounce here. We may get a bounce.
Lulu coming back to VWAP. Going to look to see if this goes above, back towards 368 here on Lulu. That's what I want to see for that Nike. Now to do kind of a similar move, right? That would move it back above the VWAP here. You can see left-hand side is Lulu, right-hand side's Nike. We'll see if it happens. If not, I'll probably get stopped out on that downturn here.
Lulu pre-market highs 377, by the way. Looks like it is finding some resistance here at the VWAP. First move was down here in Lulu. Again, I'm not sure this can go going forward.
We'll see what happens on that name.
I have a GNS halt here, and I don't think it's volatility. Let's see if we have a description for it real quick. Nope, reason not available.
SOX L pulling back now. saw AMD weak here versus like a lot of other stocks. Nvidia's back at VWAP. Micron is still pushing on the upside. So taking a look at that. Microsoft pulling back here. Apple near highs at 160s.
ENVX looking to take out its pre-market highs here on ENVX. That pre-market high is going to be 1225. There it goes, popped above. See if we get some move. Volume actually looks good here on ENVX. 1230 now. Going higher here on ENVX.
ENVX. There you go.
Innovix. Yeah, it's looking like it's just trying to pop out of this range here.
Doesn't look too bad. Measurements for me say about like 80 cents from the breakout. So maybe 1280s top range there. 1250s is the next level I have to look out for. See if it gets through there.
1250 and then 13, Mitch. Those are going to be the next two levels here.
Nice.
1250 and 13 on ENVX.
And I just did it like kind of a little quick flag measurement. It was about 80 cents breakout. I'd see breakout around 12 here. So 80 cents from there. Maybe it's like 1280s before that 13. We'll see what happens. There's Lulu back above VWAP. We'll see if it kind of gets actually running. It did do a wick here just slightly before that. But if it could start pushing, I could see Nike get the push. So I'm sticking to the trade. We'll see what happens there. Now towards 119s or 118.90s. Really want to see it recover 119s on Nike and start pushing now.
Here's another one for people to consider. All right. So HRMY, I'm curious to know, what did you folks do with this yesterday? HMRY, we had a short report from Scorpion Capital on HRMY. Benzinga actually reached out to the company. We got an exclusive response saying that they do not agree with the assertions and all of that. We actually got a defense from Raymond James as well. Let me take a look here at the news feed real quick. Okay. Interesting. We've had some more news. So shame on me. I actually should have checked that here this morning. So real quickly, again, we had the short report from Scorpion that drove it down. We reached out to the company. They said, not seeing a citizen's petition filed publicly at this time. They responded to the negative report, saying that they disagree with the assertions, excuse me. Again, Raymond James issued a note, says buy on weakness from the low quality short report. Just cause it's 366 pages doesn't make it legit. LOL. I actually think that's really funny. And then today, again, we actually got Mizuho reiterating a buy and maintaining the $60 price target. So some more defense here today. Looks like we're actually bouncing here today, up about 8.5%. I'm not in this. One of the interesting things about this bounce is we're actually taking out yesterday's intraday high. So I think if we continue along this move here, let's call it 33.50. I think your next spot here is going to be 36-ish. And then maybe we can actually get a gap fill and close all the way up there. We'll see. HRMY, this is risky, so be very, very careful. Really, really channel your J right here. You get 5-10% in a name like this, don't be afraid to take it. This one moving here early.
Q's trying to make another move back through the 31150s. We'll look to see if it makes that move. That's where tech can kind of continue going. There's Nvidia trying to do a little VWAP bounce. Now I'm getting Nike through this 119 area. I could take some profits through that, but looking for a little expansion from that. AMD that was weak, now starting to come back here. Going to look to see if the Q's push here, or do we start seeing some retracement? See some topping action there in the 31150s. So looking to see if we can recover that right now. Keeping a close eye on this Nike trade. Just want to have like a nice little cushion to start the day also. So giving it the chance to work, right? But could also see the SPY turn around here and go red, at least through this level here. So just going to be careful there on how the action's going today. Lulu is starting to now test back towards that little spike that it did earlier. So now let's see if it gets through 369.
By the way, I know I talked about looking at that for a potential short, just so you guys are all clear. I'm going to wait that out. I am not going to try to buy puts and jump in front of a train that's got a bunch of momentum. We just had a huge report. We had a huge gap up. Mitch is calling out great intraday action here. A first move down, then a move back up to the VWAP. Maybe we go through the VWAP now. on Lulu. I'm going to wait this one out. This is not, I may not even jump into this here today. It may take a day or two for that momentum to abate before we can actually play this to the downside. 370 and the pre-market high here of 377 look to be levels to take a stab at it, though.
All right, I'm going to take some profit here. Just took some profit there on Nike at 119.09s there. It's already pushing past that 119.15 now on the offer, but I just want to pay myself there and then leave the rest break even, try to work with a position today. Of course, I'm not feeling so in tune today, so if I can take some profits, probably going to do it today, right? It might be that day that I could be even quicker to the profits today because I'm just not seeing it as I normally do today. Got to know when you're feeling it, know when you're not. So I'm taking some profits there, and now I can leave the rest to just try to work on Nike.
Yeah, you know, the big thing there, Mitch, is that on days like that, the number one goal has to be don't compound your problem. Don't make your problem worse. Because when you do get back in tune or when you feel good about the market that you're trading, that's when those gains are going to come. Don't try to force it on a day it's not there, because what's going to end up happening is the worst possible thing.
Yeah.
Been there.
And the Qs look so trappy, right? Even though the SPY is starting to come back here, NVIDIA is down there by the support, right by the VWAP, right? I mean, it could stop moving there. We don't know what's going to happen. So there's so much uncertainty for me. I'm just trying to make some little bang today and maybe just stay safe. Crow said at 3:30 yesterday, FRC would run to 20. Where's it at? Where's it at, Crow? Where's it at? I like how the Crow's speaking in Crow third person now. You do it, Crow. Let them know, baby. Love it. Love it, my friend. Power up, like I always say. It's time to power up. Everybody, power.
You know, I will say this, Mitch. I get a tad jealous when I come to the HQ because I don't have my voice changer soundboard mixer here. I have to rely on you. I have to rely on you for all that. By the way, Mara and Riot, big rips out of the open here. Big rips.
is actually weak out the gates, team. That's a scary sign. I'm looking at the banks today. Banks are going down here, even though FRC is going up. So that's a little bit what's going on there, right? The banks are such a confusing trade, man. That's why I've been trying to stay away. Yesterday, I did a little FAZ. Didn't work out.
Real quick, sorry, Mitch. I'm seeing a bunch of cop puts come across the tape.
Boom.
Ticker COP. That's ConocoPhillips. Actually got a big one here. 370K. This actually might be multiple since these were so close together. They're buying the 95 put that expires April 21st. Looks like they paid just over 400K in multiple tickets for that position. Looks like maybe 3,500 contracts total if these are all related. They're all the same strike. It was all at the same price. They're just kind of split apart by a few seconds here. So ticker COP, ConocoPhillips, unusual options in the 95 put that expires April 21st.
With that being said, I will set an alert for 97.88 cut down on that COP. And it's not to react early, it's to react late to see if we crack through going on the downside. We'll see what happens there on COP. ConocoPhillips. Look at Nike now making another bounce up there. We're going, team. Almost up a point. Let's get it. What you got, Ryan?
I was going to say a couple of people were mentioning ON. I know we've talked about this on holdings. Had a huge rip recently. The thing that I'm seeing here on the daily chart, right? We had this huge momentum push. We really kind of stopped right here. Now, I don't know if this is what you were talking about yesterday, Mitch, when you were bashing me about a floating island. We'll talk about that here in a sec. But I look, our viewers are good. I wasn't even there and I heard about it. I wasn't even there and I heard about it.
It wasn't even a bash. It was more a jealousy. I didn't have you.
Okay. Then again, getting it third person. Anyway, ON here, 31.95. Let's call it 32. That was the former resistance. We did kind of come back in towards the, what do we get here? About 30. I got it here at 29.66, maybe a little bit higher than that. And it looks like we're bouncing, right? So we had a nice momentum push here, kind of took a breather for a couple of days, looks like 2 days. Now we're pushing back up. I think that this 32 test is probably on deck here. Unsure if we pop it. ON continuing to show strength here.
Boom. All out Nike there, team. Just took it 1977. Remember, I got in at 1872. So I will take the full point gain and run with it. This market, not the one to me to like kind of look for pullbacks. If I get a pullback all the way to VWAP back to 1895, I'd be a little bit upset that I gave up those gains today. So even if it pulls back or just keeps breaking out, I'll take it. Nice little move there in Nike today. Jumped on that. And what did I see at the bottom? We just talked about this on the book club. Who knows what that candle is on the daily candle for Nike? What is this candle here? Small body, lower wick there. They call it the hammer candle, baby. Got that hammer on. Let's go. Hammer time.
I was going to say, you need an MC Hammer soundboard drop.
I know.
Right
I'm
now.
struggling.
I'll
how do
say
I not
this.
have that, Ryan? Come on.
I'll say this. Couple of things. First of all, I agree with Born to Be Free. Welcome, my man. Hope you're doing well. Nice trade there. But I would say I agree. I think I agree with the chat here. I think Rising Star, Dragonfly, Doji. For me, I like to see a little bit thicker of a body. Remember, hammers, they're not all always that thin. The hammer head is normally a little bit bigger. I like to see a little bit bigger.
I think it needs to be a little bit bigger, at least for me. Dragonfly Doji. But hey, to each his own, right? I mean, we don't necessarily have to be.
I believe those are both still bullish candles.
Because if I go to the 4 hour, you see it a little bit more, right? Like this is more like kind of that hammer action, right? It's the same candle, right?
Look at that candle to the right of the one you were. Yeah, right there. That to me is the quintessential hammer candle. Look at that looks like a hammer out of Mario Brothers. The big head and the long stick for him to hold him. And that's a hammer, baby.
Hammer time.
Good stuff, Born. Good stuff.
All right. Just I have to at least do it. I gotta do it for us.
Huge guys. Hang on a sec, Mitch.
Yeah, what you got?
I got to call this trade. Got to call this trade out here. I'm not in this. CCJ, folks. CCJ, huge unusual option activity. We have the 32 call, an out of the money 32 call, 15,000 contracts, expires September 15th of this year. So again, trader buying the 32 call, expiring September 15th. 15,000 contracts or 1.47 million in premium. They paid 98 cents. CCJ popping here. We got a huge volume stick as well. Something's going on here in CCJ. Looking for the upside. The 32 call was the one purchased.
Oh, it's off of the support right now. Kind of 25.45 risk doesn't seem too bad.
Get your screen back up. Get your screen back up.
Yeah, sorry. I was just looking at it.
All good. I'm excited. The coffee is starting to kick in, baby.
It's kicking, right? So you can see the support there, right? Clear as day, right? It's about 20-cent risk right now for the breakout above, which is about 30 cents to the upside. So I would say it's about like a 1.1 to 1.5 trade right now, but it depends how you want to take it, right? On the risk there. Seems interesting on that CCJ. And I got it, team. That's how quickly we do it.
Hammer time.
Hammer time.
All right.
Stop. Hammer time.
Oh man.
Let's go, team.
Mitch, you might get me to listen to an MC Hammer track today. It's probably been 20 years since I've done that, but today might be the day, brother.
120s, team. 120s now for Nike as probably Lulu recovering there. Yeah, Lulu now into 370s, so not bad. Red to green move. I grabbed what I wanted, right? I didn't say that I'd make the biggest buck on Nike today, but I'll take what I can get there. And pre-market highs come right into resistance. Boom. Pre-market highs, 199.99. Now starting to reverse off of that 120. We'll see if we get through that resistance and keeps going. Qs overall, look at this uptrend towards the open. Just taking off, man. Tech does not want to turn around, and I feel like a lot of money that was on the sideline has gone to tech. Now the only question is, do they got it right? That's the question you got to ask. Micron finally turning around there. Let's see if NVIDIA is going to get weak here, or is it going to take off? It had a VWAP bounce earlier, a nice little VWAP bounce. Let's see if it takes off here. This is kind of like a cup and handle on the 1 minute, right? And so we'll see if this kind of takes the next level up. So what I would do is I'd put this to this body over here. You can see how that's holding right now around the 269.70s. So let's see if it comes through the 269.50s on downside. That would break the pattern, move back up above 270.70s. I think gives you that nice cup and handle look for the upside on NVIDIA.
I see some more call buying coming into that same contract in CCJ. These are much, much smaller, so these might be other traders following the big buy. Following the big buy that we saw. Seeing 250 block come in at that same September 15th 32 call. This trader paid, it's moving on me. Sorry. This trader paid 103. So we're up 5 cents from that huge print. Also saw another one shortly after, 350 blocks. So it looks like 600 contracts more. 600 more contracts, purchased in 2 separate trades. Maybe it's the same person, maybe it's not. Looks like someone's also buying the April 25.5 call, which would be an in the money call here. Silver Fox, you were saying that might be a hedge. No way for me to say for certain, but definitely an unusual option buy. That's for sure. Watching CCJ here, you can actually see it curling up. Let's see where it ends up going. Take a look at the daily chart here. Looks like it's trying to break out. Let's see if we actually move higher here. CCJ.
Up action in almost all the sectors today. I have this little sector outlook that I do it on lines, and the 28th starts here. And you can see here how we were coming down. Now we've really started to coming up after yesterday's action, and it's pretty much all around here. So we are seeing a pretty strong rally today. And you can see that also in the sectors when you don't have a single sector in the red from the open. Utilities leading, now starting to pull back. Real estate, consumer cyclicals were the strongest. The weakest ones were energy and defensives and basic materials. Let's see if this can continue to run today. X had a decent day yesterday. Didn't really break out, but overnight action really popped it. Let's see if it catches some bid here, goes higher, or did the Qs turn around after a really strong open here? See the Qs turning around a little bit there. Are the banks still weak? JPM is what I'm looking at. That's right on VWAP. Bank of America looks interesting here. KRE, how's that doing? Pulling back there. Tesla back underneath VWAP. NVIDIA back to VWAP. So Micron getting weak. That was one of the signals that I could see that at least turned this market around a little bit. See what happens on that one. This is just a huge trap in tech. It's hard to determine. Intel was strong out the gates also.
Ali, thank you very much. Ryan, the GNS halt was T1 news pending. Ali, appreciate that. So that doesn't sound good, right? GNS probably bad news coming. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's
you never know.
News. You never know.
Should never know.
Halt,
Where's my Kroger fan?
She's not even here. Mitch is still going after it. By the way, Mitch, you were talking about banks. Wells Fargo seeing an unusual option trade in the 35.5 put expiring April 6th. So that's what, next Thursday? Is that am I getting my dates right? April 6th is next Thursday. Well, Wells Fargo 35.5 put. They were cheapies. They only paid 23 cents for them, but
it's hard. I'm looking at FAZ again, team. I might take one shot today, but I'm not going to take too much on this. This is the banks kind of cracking here, but it looks interesting, at least for the intraday action, right? Could be a little bit of a trap though. So just my setups there are that it looks interesting there, but it's so hard for me to like kind of go short on these banks right now. They just haven't done anything in the last couple of days, really. How those tech names, how's the Qs? Still can't go back through that 311.50 area on the 5 minutes. You can see how there's so many wicks there around the 311.49. That's what I'm kind of paying attention to. And why do I have this 312 so positive? Ooh, because that's the up break. Yeah, we got to kind of watch for that up break there. If it could go back through 312s, man, Q's can be looking strong. SPY overall, I mean, we're right there towards the trend line here on the daily. And we're holding the pullback. So the market looks strong right now. I'm really wondering if we're going to get a turnaround today. Because, man, does it look technically strong. And that's just using technicals, like not thinking about the story, not thinking about the banks. It does look strong. If we could close above like 398.50s even today, I think that's a win for the bulls. Apple, how's that one doing? I know that one also has a breakout look above
Apple
it.
holding its gains, yeah.
You can see the daily chart. Look at this on Apple. Right above it, right above that line.
Trying to go, yep.
161 breakout with high volume. Yeah, that would be an interesting one to look at. See what happens. It stayed strong up here. What you got?
Micron pulled back after its initial move there, trying to bounce here on Micron. But this too, just to kind of go along with what you were just talking about, this too looking pretty strong here this morning on Micron. Tesla trying to bounce too after its little pullback. Apple really holding where it was at.
Crooks.
Lulu coming back to VWAP, but holding at VWAP. So that actually might curl and move higher. We'll see on Lulu. Keep watching it.
Foot Locker actually having a decent move off of that downturn that it had in the pre-market. But just looking around, team, not trying to do too much, right? I got myself a nice cushion, looking for the next trade, but really want to see where this market's heading. It's not easy, team. Not easy.
The other part about the HQ is I don't have all my passwords saved, so I have to remember all of them. It's just kind of funny.
MOS having a decent day there. That's one that I haven't called out that is having a really nice day. Kind of a turnaround look there from MOS, Mosaic Companies. Keeping an eye on that. Western Digital having a good day. PayPal pushing up a little bit. Looking around to see what's moving there, team.
What's going on in Ambi? So this has been halted multiple times here. Huge volume on Ambi. It looks like we traded through 8. We're up here at 11. We're as high as 12. Was there a piece of news on this? No.
Marvell off of Micron's earnings. Really nice push. So just to kind of state like what could have pushed off of Micron's earning, that's a nice push on Marvell. Coming back to you, my friend.
How are my penny players doing today? See BRDS here. Oh, that's looking weak. IMPP. That was a fun one. IMPP not really doing much.
IMPP. You know what's an interesting, really small semiconductor name, Ryan, that you probably never heard of? Have you ever heard of Himax Technologies?
Himax, HIMX?
Himax Technologies?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Yeah,
Damn,
but
Ryan, you know one that I don't even know, but it looks really nice. I like it.
I don't necessarily know the story.
I'll show you guys that one that I'm talking about here. That's HimX. And so what I like about this is that it's a $1.4 billion capitalization company. It is putting in a nice, it's trying to like fill this gap here. And it's gone up before into the gap and now is coming back. Kind of like an undercut and rally type of trade. It's a smaller name, but something to keep an eye on. And at least I don't think that it's going to flush on me too much. But it's one that I've never looked into. So I'm going to have to do a little research. It looks interesting for me. Nothing that I take today. I have to do the deep dive. What's going on out there, team? 10 a.m. numbers. Yes, oil numbers hitting here. So I'm going to pay attention to these oil numbers here to see how the oil stocks react. But I'm just going to go more off of the reaction on the oil names.
So here we go on GNS, by the way. GNS unhalted here. GNS shares settle litigation with Alto Company Master Fund. That was the news. It is resumed now and trading higher, up 32.5%. So shame on me. Look at this. Let's go to my screen. This is actually kind of comical. So we came out of the halt. We went right to that 261, which is a line that we had drawn from a previous session. It's kind of stopping there and
Short
holding
XOM.
out at that line.
Go ahead.
Oh, good. This is that line that we drew. This was a former resistance point. So GNS popping up to that. No trade here, but we had just talked about it. Looks like we got that news. Settled a litigation. GNS.
All right, guys, taking a quick trade here, quick risk here off 108.40s here for XOM, short off of the 108.20s, looking to risk about 20 cents here for it to come break 108s. I see multiple topping action in that direction. If it gets through there, I definitely don't want to fight it. So it's going to be really tight. We'll look to see if it breaks back down.
Seeing some Micron calls and puts come across the tape. Okay, maybe we can't judge from that.
And that just shows that there's volume in that name today, right? There's a lot of players.
Real quick, Jay Rice mentioning that Calm has pretty big short interest. 19.5% of the float shorted, 5.9 days to cover there on Cal-Maine Foods. Up 9.5% here today. Nice little move here in Cal-Maine Foods today. Next spot on Cal-Maine is going to be 60. It's only 80 cents away. Then maybe 62
this is
and a
one
half.
of those sneaky ones. I was a little frustrated this morning. I even talked about it on pre-market prep. I was wondering why this one didn't get the lift in the pre-market. Looks like it was just waiting for the market. They took it there.
Here's some more context for you on Hymax, Mitch. Carmen saying, note on Hymax, I've owned it since the $3 range. It's based in Taiwan. So if you're nervous about the China-Taiwan story, there's another risk factor for your potential trade.
Carmen, you ruined it for me, but it's okay. Sometimes you can ruin it. Your ruining was actually a good thing for me, though. I'm staying away from that risk. I don't trust China one bit. Keeping a close eye on this XOM. I want to see it start taking and do a little bit of a takedown. If it could come back to this 107.50, I'll be looking a lot better. But right now, it's just kind of fighting. And it's trying to hold VWAP. I don't like that it's trying to hold VWAP.
Seeing more CCJ calls. This the 25 call that expires June 16th. Also seeing a huge put trade in Activision Blizzard, ATVI, the January 19th, 2024, 85 puts, 30,000 of them, $18 million trade there. ATVI.
All right, let's see if we get this 108 crack. It just touched it and then just stopped. It could still recover VWAP at any moment, so you just got to be patient on a trade like this. What is going on today?
God, BMEA. This thing 2 days ago, March 27th, this thing was $16, 34 today. A double in 2 days. What was the news on this one yesterday?
VIX on the move up. It's interesting to see how the bank's doing here. Lulu going back underneath VWAP, so we could start seeing some names getting hit here. How's NVIDIA? Now back below VWAP. AMD was weak earlier. It's near the lows there.
Tesla coming back in here.
Micron's trying to hold VWAP here. So this is very like binary right now. Either you think this is just a test down and we're going to get another rip, or we're going to break down. So that's the interesting part. But Micron's an interesting trade. I'll say that.
Fresh Tea Design. Yo, good morning. Welcome. I like the handle. I like Fresh Teas. Let's go.
Yeah, the crude numbers are out there. That's what I was trying to pull for us here, but I'm struggling over here today. All right, let's get those numbers.
Oh, look at that. SPY found resistance at 400. Let's see if that holds here today.
Where are these? Pending home sales came in. I'm looking to see what happens at, it's 10:30 for the oil numbers. There's Micron's bounce. So you see, I was looking at that to see, like, it's very binary here, but the VWAP's right there. That's for sure. Like, some people are trading off this VWAP right now. This is more a matter if you want to join in on the trade. So very clear trade there on Micron. And I would even pull this level up here towards kind of that support, 62.31s, kind of the next layer of support. See if Micron takes that next step up. Qs starting to look a little bit toppy here, but really haven't broken. So could recover. Nvidia, how's that looking? That's starting to look a little weak here.
ATVI saw a block trade, 600,060 shares, 84.70. That was above the ask.
Let these try one more time to kind of come up to these levels, these 270s.
See that in here, though.
Where's Jim Cramer? Wearing some flip-flops, you know. Fast tightening up. Oh, dude, I wasn't going to take that one, but man, I didn't like that recent downturn. But I like this upturn now in it, especially as the market looks weak here. Let's take a little bit of it. All right, grabbing a little bit of that FAZ 2293s, going to risk off of the recent move, which is 2282. So it's about what, 8-9 cent risk here. Looking for the break above 23s there on FAZ. We'll see what happens here. XOM finally back to 108s. I want to see if that can cut through. And I want to see if the Qs just really crack now and not bounce off of this and come right back towards 312s, because that will squeeze out some of the shorts if they're trying to get in. CJPM overall. See if the banks actually even come down much, because the regionals were actually strong out the gates, right? We saw FRC. That's starting to pull back now. It's on the VWAP, right off the VWAP. That's interesting. So binary, right? You could do the pairs trade even on some of these. It's interesting. 1391, this is FRC's outlook. And XOM just doesn't want to go back through that at 108. 3 attempts there to touch that 108. So one more attempt there. If it doesn't go there, I'm just going to get out regardless. But it is looking like it's trying to start pushing up. So this could be traps out there. You got to be careful.
By the way, PYXS from our list here, holding right around 4. If we take a look at this, right, we had 402 marked off here, but that could be 4, 402, 401, all about the same thing. Looks like it found a bottom here at about 390 or 392, at least so far. Let's see. One of the things to watch here for a potential trade, maybe we do end up getting some juice a little bit later. And as I say that, PYXS returning to the lows. Let's see what we end up getting here. But maybe we do get a move through 4 here on volume. Right now, not looking good on PYXS. We'll see if that changes.
The battle's on there. Now you got to bounce off the Qs, and so you could look like you could get that Micron move also. Right? A little bounce
Voodoo,
on the Qs.
That's quite colorful, Voodoo. I'll remember to keep my distance so I don't get hit by that lightning.
Well, there you guys see Micron back up there It hasn't completed the full move there, but definitely got a little bit of a spike there from that VWAP touch again. Right back up there. It was from like about, what is that? It's about 62.75 to a move to 63.50. It's not bad. 72 cents. Now pulling back a little bit there. Well, gonna look to see what happens here. You start seeing the crack. Could go short on NVIDIA here around the 269 spot, but I don't want to be so heavily short. I'm gonna kind of wait to see if the Qs actually really break first. Here's the Qs. I think that's important to kind of keep a watch on. Now it's even more important for me to see if we get even back towards 311.70s, not even 312s. Video, are we going to come back towards 270s or break down through kind of like 268 levels? Tesla, here comes 191.78. Silver Fox, you see it going red?
No, Crow is saying he thinks PYXS going red here, and it certainly looks like that.
PYXS. Yeah, I mean it's trying to hold, but
It's trying to hold. Exactly. That's exactly it. Exactly it. Exactly it. We'll see where it ends up settling.
What was that one that was earlier that made a little bit of a pop? I know there was another one that you guys were looking at.
ARCT, right? Is that the one that would started with A? Let's see if it's in my.
I know that was like one of the top movers. Yeah, that was one that got a little pop there. Remember the 20? Tried to get back up there. Didn't hold that VWAP bounce.
Nope. And by the way, HRMY, Harmony Biosciences, we bounced from the open, which was at about 30.75, 30. I have 30.86 here, but so 30 and change, bounced from the open, really kind of holding this 33 area. Let's see if we move even higher here on HRMY. Was it either of these? ENVX? Was that it, Mitch? ENVX, this one continuing. Yeah, this one continuing higher, actually. Nice little staircase move here on ENVX.
That's the one that was giving a nice little up move through 12. Might get squeezed out of XOM now. We're starting to push a little bit. Q's now cracking a little bit through that 311, but could recover right back through the line. So we'll see what happens now, but it did crack it a little bit on the 1 minute. Let's go to the 5 minutes, see if we get a 5 minute close below this trend line here. So I'll make it a little thicker here so we can kind of really see it on the screen. There you go. You guys see my outlook, at least how I'm looking at the Qs. Of course, you guys make your own outlook like always. This is why I always, like, whenever I'm trading in rooms and stuff like that, I focus on my things, right? I'm always aware of what's going on a little bit, but I'm focusing on my things. You guys make your own levels. All right, time to put some music on today because it's one of those days.
I'm still looking around here. BANL moving higher here. This is actually a move right through yesterday's intraday high at 850. Boy, got a nice move
out of
there.
That XOM. Small stop out, but still gave back about like half, a little less than half of what we made on Nike. So just to put it in perspective, right? I like to get things in perspective. So it's not too bad, but gave up some of that Nike gain. We'll see what happens on this FAZ. Q's coming back to the upside. That could push up, right? It could just reverse and we could push higher here. Micron still looking interesting itself, right? It doesn't look too bad there. NVIDIA could reverse and just come back through the 270s. We just tapped 270s. Let's see if we actually come back and, break through the high now, 270.50. This market is a confusing one, man. It's a market driven right now by tech, and the market was destroyed by tech. So who's to say that, it isn't just going to keep climbing and climbing the wall of worries and forgetting what's in the banking situation.
By the way, PYXS just did what we were waiting for. On volume, move through that 402 off the bottom here. Volume is holding up here. We're going higher on PYXS. This is actually not a bad trade right from that 4 area.
Banks recovering here. Might just get out of this FAZ. It's not doing much. Looking to see if I'm going to get a Qs to come right back down, but it's actually pushing here.
PYXS even higher here. So if you did take this trade through 4, I would definitely trim some here. Definitely trim some here. Higher. Here we go. Oh, PYXS. What a move. What a move. It's all about the volume, baby. We need it's all about the Benjamins drop mashed up to say it's all about the volume, because what a move here on PY. We were as high as 433. We're pulling back here now, but wow, that move right through that flawless victory. We need that drop too, actually. What a move here on PYXS. What a move. Didn't get it. Not fast enough. Not with the different setup here. But damn, that's what we were waiting for. That's exactly that was it. Okay, so it's all about process here on this show. And the process that we discussed as this was holding that 4, I know we said it looks like it was going to go red. It did look like it was going to go red, but look what happened, right? We got that little shake. We got that little shake down to 391, and then the buyers just stepped in. That buying activity actually started at 390 and took you as high as 433. So huge bounce right there on volume through that key level. Giddy up. Let's see where it settles. This short-term day trade, for the time being right now, it's over. So let's see where, okay, here we go. Maybe it's starting to gear again. And you're right, Crow. It was this level, right? 390, 392. We talked about it pre-market. This was actually one of the levels yesterday where it was kind of dancing around. That came into play here again. Look at the volume stick. Look at the difference in volume. This lines up exactly where we got our move here. PYXS. I'm disappointed. I know it's, try not to have hindsight, but man, I'm disappointed I didn't hit that one. We were all over it. We were all over the plan. And it's just not fast enough here. Looking at something else.
It happens, man. It happens. It's a fast trade. It's not a slow one, right? So if you missed it because of a speed, can't really be too mad.
Well, right? I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I mean, I'm more happy that our process was spot on with this name. We had it flagged in the pre-market. We had watched it come in. We watched it bounce there. I mean, we had that plan. We had that plan down.
Yeah.
Smoke Tuna saying BMEA is setting up for its next push. Let's take a look at it. BMEA. This is what? Biomea Fusion. Oh yeah, we actually did get that push here, right? Kind of came back through. Very similar. Very similar setup, right? We came back down through the VWAP. We held in there. Now we're actually having it curl through the VWAP on pretty big volume. Now it looks like maybe we do take this out. Maybe we take out 36 again here, and it would want higher. Scalp above 36, maybe. Be very careful with that, though. We've seen those range breaks to the upside really get knifed and pulled back on. So be careful on that.
The Qs are just playing around right now. Just be careful with the chop. Right now, it's just chopping. It's trying to decipher where it wants to go. It's still bullish because it's above the VWAP. So that, I would say, it's still on bullish action right now, but it's definitely slowed down the momentum, right? So we'll see if it does another pickup of the momentum here and chooses a direction.
Is that you?
What?
I thought I heard a phone there.
No, it wasn't me. Maybe It was in the office.
Do you hear that?
I don't. Maybe it's coming from me.
No, maybe it's coming. Maybe it's like.
There's a hidden phone in there.
No, this is so weird. Hang on a sec.
Smash the like, team. Smash it up. Dun, dun, dun. Trying to see what's going to happen here. Micron back to
You guys are
62.58.
hearing this, right? You guys are hearing the laughter.
I have no idea.
Hello,
I can hear that.
it's me.
This is so weird.
Hello?
I'm like tripping out. This is crazy. By the way, look over at the market here. You guys don't hear the sound? Oh my God, Ryan, take your meds, bro.
Thank you, Silver Fox. Thank you.
This is crazy. This is so crazy.
I got to say,
Stop it. Get some help.
stop it, Ryan. Get some help.
Oh,
You got something playing on the background or something?
yeah, it's something from because it's not my computer, it's a communal computer.
Ah, that's what happened. It's only in your head, they say.
It is in my head. This is hilarious. Oh my God. That is so funny. Can we get Ryan the help he needs? Boy, you guys love me, don't you?
All right, there's NVIDIA now cutting through down, and a little late to the party, but the Qs are starting to crack here. I could add to FAZ, looking for the pop there, looking for the banks to come down fast here. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to probably get short on JPM here instead of adding to that one play there. But it does look interesting here. Rejection of 129.50s here for JPM. You can see how this could just crack through the VWAP and then really start coming down. Bank of America, same outlook there. So those actually don't look too bad on those types of plays. The Q's coming lower there, so maybe SOX-S type of play here. I like that play there. I'm going to take a little shot here. Just took a little bit of an entry there in SOX-S, looking for a pullback towards 18 here to add. Let's see if I can get that add towards 18 and then hold off of the 1790s here. Looking for a little bit of a pullback action in SOX-S here to try to add into this name, but just got a little started there. Going to look for this FAZ to take off. Q's to come down fast here as we're down there towards 310s, now 1810s here, jumping on that SOX-S. No add on that pullback yet. I'll look to see if I get a pullback into the lower 18s, but got a 1805 starter. So we'll look to see if I get a little pullback below that to add on the name. NVIDIA was just already too far for me to go after it, but it did crack there even a little bit further there. 268.61s, now down to 267.70s. Definitely cracked fast there. Kind of this topping action there. I could see Micron that was hanging in there probably could crack. So I'd be a little bit careful with this one. Of course, this one's relative strength stronger than the others, but it's kind of a little bit of a trappy move here. But if it comes back up, who knows? Maybe the Qs can even recover this move. Hard little downturn. Let's see if this 5 minute turns into a wick.
Tesla, huge reversal here. By the way, the chat is awesome. Those are so hilarious.
Tesla. Oh, I can see it down there towards 190s. That was a quick little move.
Tesla, I mean, look at my chart here. Look at my chart here. Tesla pushed up to 195.34, which we have marked off from a previous session, immediately rejected and reversed $5 here. So nice little short side trade there on Tesla. Cal-Maine Foods pushing higher.
Cal-Maine Foods. Trying to see what Micron does here. I think that's an important one to kind of keep an eye out for. I know a lot of people are watching that right now off the VWAP. Get some music going here. Some tunes. See what this, how this sounds. Dun, dun, dun. The Qs are going down, baby. Let's see. I didn't get a pullback fill there. It didn't come far enough there for filling me on success for the pullback. So canceling that ad, just going to roll with what I got now. Looking for the move to come up there. Don't want to see the FAZ break through the 289s anymore. Just want to see it start really getting into the 23s. Want to see if JPM can break down, right? I was looking at that potentially to just come down through the 129s. If that comes right back up through 129.50s, we could just get out of the trade because it's probably going to keep pushing a little higher. We'll find out.
PYXS trying to take the next leg up here, trying to snap through 430. I have the high here at 433, so we'll see if we can go through 430 and then the high on PYXS. No position here. I'm not going to chase it. Is that you that has the music on, or is that the voices that I keep hearing in my head?
Kind of don't want to tell them the truth, team, but yeah, that's me.
I kind of don't want to tell them the truth, team. Thanks, Mitch.
At least I'll still give it to you, my friend. There's JPM starting to make a little bit of a down move here. Could go after JPM here for the cut down, but I'm going to look for some other trades, right? I have success here. We'll look for that to kind of continue up. What other trades can we look at, right? I mean, let's take a look at like the bigger tech, right? Google, those types of names. Those don't look too bad here. Did lose some money on Google overnight. Maybe I make it back here in the intraday. How's Apple that was really strong? That's back at VWAP.
Apple's still holding up, though. I mean, if you take a look, if you compare Apple to Tesla, you'll see the huge difference there. Might be back at VWAP here, but it's still holding that leg up.
You see, I love the chat. They're like me. What music? I don't know what you're talking about.
Ryan looks like a grown-up version of the kid that sees dead people. That sounds like an insult, actually. I'm disappointed in Crow.
Signs. I'll tell you one thing. That movie scared me when I was a little kid. There's Micron. Micron's like trying to reverse there. You guys see it on the one, just like bunched up there, right? If the Qs could come back ripping right now, Micron could reverse and push higher. It's interesting. Success here, pulled back here.
I think the movie you are talking about is The Sixth Sense, not Signs.
Oh, there you go. You got it. You see, Ryan knows it. I'm not on point today, team. You guys see it?
I'm doing my best here, Mitch. I'm doing my best here.
I got Ryan for me today. I'm gonna need the facts check today.
Born saying, yeah, that Osborne kid was a tool. Oh God, you guys.
Any update on our Orlando trip, team? Well, I didn't get many emails. That's the update, team. I'm disappointed in you guys.
Ooh, Mitch. Ooh.
I got to get the emails. I can't get the event team excited if you guys don't tell me you're excited.
Oh,
right?
Whoa. Appreciate this here. Someone coming to my defense. I disagree. Haley Joe Osment, not as sharp looking. I'm assuming you mean to. I appreciate that, Becca. Let's go. Now Ryan looks like Fred Flintstone.
Fred Flintstone? I actually like Fred Flintstone. I was a bam bam, you know. Bam, bam.
Oh, that's funny.
I was definitely a bam bam.
We're having fun.
The Qs are just trappy, man. This market got slow on us here.
Yeah, you know, what's interesting here is that the VIX is really kind of hanging out in this 1921 area. Really not moving or breaking down, just kind of moving sideways here, drifting sideways, I would say.
And I would agree with this statement. Yes. Spam my inbox. Come on. Mitch at benzinga.com. You guys don't even see me put caps all the time there. I'll do it again. Go ahead.
I thought Ryan was at the HQ working on the outing in Orlando.
Come on, guys. Got to get on that.
I suggested, I've already actually suggested it. I didn't suggest Orlando. I suggested Florida, but Orlando is in Florida.
All right. Let's step it up a little bit here. Let's see what we can get.
Can AT hear me? I know he's in the back. AT, can you hear me?
He can.
AT, I have a funny story to tell you. Would you be able to come over to the blue room here real quick? Okay, you the man.
So just added on Success there. Average 1805, same entry. Starting to see the Qs come lower here. Could see Micron turn down. Could see JPM kind of crack there. There's JPM's crack. So I'm going to actually take a shot here, team. I'm also adding to FAZ here. Going to hold it really tight towards this 88 area. Yeah, they've said that before. I think Adam Sandler's more me, but hey. I used to get that one in school. Netflix looking to possibly sell down. We'll see. Success starting to get moving for me. Want to see that really start push a little bit. There's a Qs pushing. FAZ, we got that ad at the 93s, so we're still at the 93s. Looking to see that push into the intraday high, 2307. Qs don't want to like completely leak though. We came down here and then we kind of reverse off this level here, the 310.70 level. We're going to look to see if we crack that 310.70 level on the Qs. That's the next layer of support for me here. I'll make it a little thicker so you guys can see it. There, you guys can see that now.
Okay, I'm back.
We vibing, team. Looking for the Qs to break down here. JPM already starting to cut down. I didn't go after that one off of the kind of the 129.50s. That wouldn't have been a bad look either. NVIDIA, did we keep breaking down? Yeah, NVIDIA's looking weak there. AMD was weak earlier. Now starting to cut through that 95.15. We'll see if it goes through 95. Micron that was hanging on, starting to let go there. We'll start to see if this can actually really let go. Nike that was green earlier, now starting to pull back there. I don't know if this is an opportunity to get at VWAP or we're going to see a flush down, but there's the SPY down towards 399. Can it break through 399.25s here? Q's just broke through that 310.70s, so Success going to be looking good here for me. 1817, almost towards some profit take. Going to try to get it up here towards the kind of this 1825 for first profit, then 1835s. Opening price, full target out, 1850s. I'll take that profit and run. We'll see what happens, man.
So I got answers on all the voices in my head. I understand completely what was happening now. Oh, man, that is – I'll tell you something. So far on this trip, that little experience, that's the highlight. That it is making me laugh. You guys really just giving it to me, giving me the business, as they say. Oh, man, that was funny. By the way, though, just kind of get back to the markets here. Music Plus, I agree, does look like the SPY is breaking down. And remember, if you – back to the beginning or back to the pre-market here, what I said on SPY is we want to see if this candle holds, right? We want to see if we continue to move higher and if we actually hold some of these gains. Sure looks like this is going to try and roll over and trade back down. We'll see if that ends up materializing. That's what we're seeing so far. Here's the look at it. You can see we are kind of rolling back over here. We'll see if we hit that VWAP and we'll see if we plunge a little bit more.
There's a nice pop there. FAZ now towards 23s. That's looking good. As that starts to break, starts to break out. I could look for the banks to really break down. Be careful in FRC. It was by VWAP. Now starting to turn around there. Bigger banks though breaking down. Goldman Sachs down to the lows. Bank of America starting to cut through. Wells Fargo. I know you saw some puts mentioned earlier. You mentioned those unusual puts.
Yep.
That actually looks interesting here. It still hasn't really broken down. It's near the VWAP, but Wells Fargo doesn't move that much. We'll see if FAZ can really get moving here. Q's just breaking down to 310.40s now. Micron starting to let go. Apple now down. We'll see if it comes back down through the open. Microsoft also pulling back. Google, pretty red there. That's probably the weaker one. And then Tesla, that was pretty weak, continuing that weak turn.
PYXS trying to go higher here. By the way, Born, listen, when you fell out of the chair, that was by far the best Ryan moment a year or so ago. That was back in the days of Spencer, man. Let me tell you something. Those chairs that have the lean, I was pretty scared, man. I felt like I was going over. That was
all right.
That was a good moment.
First profits hit on Success 18.25, took half of it out there. Now going to look for the rest to keep going, but won't lose on the remaining shares. 18.05. Let's see if it can keep running and give us that next lift through the 18.35s. And the Qs continuing down. Don't want to see the Qs recover 310.70s. Just want it to keep working down. We'll see what happens.
Mitch got the trancy vibe going here.
Yeah. I needed to calm down today, you know. Just take the lo-fi. Fed's Bard says, I become aware of SVB's distress Thursday morning with an email from the staff on Wednesday or Thursday before the failure. I don't know what to make of that, Richard. I have to look a little bit more deeper into that. Airs now pushing through FAZ. Can we get towards like 23.10s? Can take a little bit of profit in that one and then start looking for this to work just a little more. All right, with that first profit in that Success trade that I took, I pretty much covered that XOM loss with just the first profits, right? And I have about 3 targets for Success. So that's why I think it's always so important to not just focus on, you know, for green or red, but try to understand a lot of the profit to loss ratio outlooks. I think that that's very important in trading to really get an advantage. You got to keep a mathematical advantage and always keep focus of that, right? And when you have winnings and losing trades, take a look. Are you really holding to that profit and loss ratio? What do I mean by that? If your process says 3-to-1 on reward and loss, are you holding to those levels? Because if you're not, you're ruining your mathematical advantage. And that's what we're all looking for. It's just a little edge.
Becca mentioning USAU, that's US gold. That's up nicely here today, up 17%, and actually looks like it's trying to curl back up and set new highs. So US gold looking good here. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Actually a pretty decent pop and breakout here on US gold. Interesting chart here. There might be some more here. I'd actually wait for a little bit of a pullback if we get it, but maybe we do get a little bit more here. 9 or 10 is a potential target here. Good spot, Becca.
Still no profits yet for FAZ. Going to look to see on this momentum if we could get it through that level, that 23.10, and then take some profits. See if I can get it there. Still not at that 23.10. And the Qs, wouldn't you know it, trying to bounce back through that 310.70s. I've talked about that level being very important. We were fighting it for a second, then we finally cut through it. Are we going to use it as resistance now? Looking to see if we use 310.70s somewhere in that 70 area. Don't want to see like 310.80s. That shows a little bit more that we're cutting through that line. Let's see if we use it as resistance and then just reject right back down. So this is that bottom outlook here, right? And so it would just use it as resistance and then cut through the lows. You see how the lows are in the same area? 310.34, 310.34. This is why it's so important to kind of know those lows, know the opening price, right? This opened at 310.52. Let's see if we crack through that going through the low and then just keep coming down.
BMEA still consolidating here in this area. It looks like we got what, between 34 and 36. So a little sideways trading there. We'll see which direction this breaks out of here. A BMEA.
Down goes Frazier. Nvidia down. Man, that one I can't get a grip on it, man. I've hit it today. I've hit it this week, but can't catch it when on the early move. I wanted to look for a 270 rejection again, and maybe that was the entry there. But as it came up there and it rejected, it came down about 60 cents. So that's kind of hard for me to chase into. For me, 60 cents on that down move is just a little bit too far to catch it after that. I would have to get it into the strength move. And wouldn't you know it, the Q's trying to recover here. It's just tapping that 310.70s. How's Micron?
Let's check.
Still kind of hanging in there, right?
Yeah. Gave back what? Gave back about $1.50 off the highs.
Yeah,
Came back to VWAP.
Let's see the retracement tool, right? It's about still holding the 61.8. So the golden mean here holding in around 62.15. If the Qs want to come back, look at Micron. I wouldn't mind. And you guys know I'm on success, so it's kind of like the complete opposite. But that's just the perspective, right? And the flexibility there. It could still come back. All right, about 10:45, team. We're going to be wrapping up in just a little bit, but don't go anywhere because we do got the all access coming up next. And don't forget, I do want to let you guys a little bit of some bad news, team. Unfortunately, we will not be here tomorrow. We do have a quarterly meeting we will be missing out on, so check it out, team. We will be off tomorrow, but back with you guys on Friday.
That's right.
And there's FAZ through the 2310s. Going to go ahead and sell half of it here. Got out half there at 2309 on the bid there. I'll take it. Got some out on FAZ. Now just letting it work from here on out. These two trades, FAZ and Success, right? We talked about would we use 310.70s as kind of resistance. At least we went up there towards 79, but we closed where? At 58, almost right where we opened at 52s. And now heading to the downside of that, but you can see kind of triple bottoms. Let's see if we actually take that out there on the Qs.
And real quick, comment here from Lori. I absolutely love this, by the way. Lori saying Senate hearings are pretty aggressive right now. The same thing happened yesterday, sideways until it was over. This is awesome because, first of all, this is exactly the process that we're talking about. You're trying to recognize something, a potential pattern. You notice something happened yesterday, so you're trying to apply that to today. It's either going to work or it doesn't, right? You're giving yourself a roadmap there. Love this because you're sharing it with the group. I'll say this. I don't have this on. I can't see this hearing anywhere. I'm not seeing news flashes anywhere. I don't have Twitter up, so I'm not sure what's going on. Appreciate that. Heads up there, Lori. Good stuff. You said it popped afterwards. The market popped afterwards. Let's see if we get the same thing here. So appreciate your support, man. This is a great show, and we appreciate all that you add to our community as well as everyone else in our community. So really appreciate that. Smash up the like.
Just took a little bit more profit as I talked about through the 1835s for Success. I'd take some profits. It started slowing down there as soon as it got to the 40s. I took profit there, 1841. So just taking the profits and laddering it up now, right? Now deep into the green. We covered that XOM loss. We took some profits on FAZ, both trades into the green, still have some shares left. Got a quarter of success, still have half of FAZ. Now can just continue to work. But if the Qs recover that 310.70s, I know at least to just take my money and head for the hills.
Head for the hills, folks. The hills. Really quickly, Easy Mike saying all we need is the chat. That's the goal, right? We want to have this chat be a place where people can come in. And even if Mitch and I don't hit something, or we're late to a trade, or we don't call something out, you got the chat. You got the chat to fall back on. Easy Mike. I say the same thing about you, man. Thanks for being part of the community. Thank you to everyone that is here for being a part of our community. You guys are what makes this show. That's why Mitch asks for likes.
Yeah, literally. It's for feedback and for you guys to let us know that we're making it a good time here. If you guys enjoy it, I mean, Ryan and I will be happy. That's really what it's all about.
Yep, absolutely. Lensley, really appreciate that. Jay, great eyes here, man. Credit goes to you on this one too. Lulu, like a lot of these gap ups, the highs were all in the pre-market. Don't chase. Let me pull that chart up here because this risk really shows it. And Jay, if I'm not mistaken, I think you said that the 370 level looks like a good level to play to the downside. Let me bring up my chart here and we'll see how great of a call that actually was. First of all, Jay's absolutely right. The highs were all in the pre-market. Had a high here of 377. I have the high as 377.50. We have that high here in the pre-market. Soon as the market opened, we really kind of dipped. We tried to bounce, but now we're coming all the way back down on that. Let's see where we end up finishing here on Lulu. And look at this, Jay. 370 was your intraday high. Oh, man, I love it when a plan comes together. There it is.
Got really close to taking profits there. Had an order out for 1850s. It pulled off 1849s for success on the top there. And this is where it's like, man, do I just keep running with this position? Is this an all-day outlook, just run with the trend? Or do I just take the money and run here? That's where it gets difficult. Since I'm feeling like I'm not reading the market really well, I'm really keeping a close eye because I talked about it today. Today's the day that for me, I don't want to give up gains. I want to try to take them. So just focusing on here to see what happens in the Qs. Do we get some reversal action or do we get continued takedown? All right, I do want to let you guys know we do have a great show for you guys on Start Swing Trading later today. We will have none other than Christian Fromhertz. Of course, don't miss that later today, team. Start Swing Trading. We'll get into all the action out in the market. And then on Thursday, I'm trying to get Tim Quas from Market Structure Edge. And don't miss Fridays. I got to give my man a shout out definitely here. Scott Charts. You guys might want to add him on Twitter. He was actually calling the regional bank weakness, Ryan, before any of this happened. So I love traders that can call things like that, see the relative weakness. He didn't know why it was going on, but he definitely saw the weakness there and pointed it out on Start Swing Trading. That's going to start 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. If you're missing that show, why not check it out? It's a great show to watch towards the end of the market.
Yeah, I got to get in there, Mitch. I got to get in that show with you. I've really not done a good job so far, but I'll jump in there.
Yeah, plan a day, man. You're more than welcome to join. You know how I always say, the door is open for you guys out there. And that means the same for you guys out there. Beach Bum came on one day, Ryan. So
I missed Beach Bum?
Yeah, you missed Beach Bum, man. Like you guys out there, I'm not kidding. The door is open to you guys. All you got to do is ask. All right, Q's trying to break through the low right now. I'm going to look to see if this candle goes back to green. If it does, I'm going to take the profits and success and run for the hills like I just talked about. We'll see what happens here. It is starting to tighten up. Ooh. Is it going to go back to green here? Because it tested to the low, so I wanted to see it break that low. Let's see it. There's 310.15s. We're looking for a 310.12 break. 310.12 showing up, and boom, just cuts through, but recovers there. So I'm keeping a close eye. I want to see a little bit of expansion now. Go away from this 310.70 and really start pushing down. If not, well, we could see that reversal action. JPM, how's those banks? You can see how the banks are starting to push back above VWAP, at least JPM. That shows me a little bit more that we could reverse here. So got to be quick to these profits. Like FAZ, I'm not liking the action. Banks are back above VWAP. Got to really just hold to the VWAP right now, which is 22.96. Wouldn't let that break. Let's go back to the Qs on the right-hand side here. See if we get that break. Or are we going to go back to the green? You see how we're starting to go green. This is when I could expect to see some pullback. So let's see what happens here. If we just do a little push up, I'll probably just take this success and run. The chop. All right, like always, team, we'll see what else is going on. It's always a good show. Milky Fade, you know it. Kind of like the picture. I don't know what picture that is, but it looks pretty funny. My girlfriend asks how to trade. I'm like, nah. Hey, Crow, you'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised. Especially women. They could surprise you, man, in trading. They can be a lot. They can control their emotions a lot more than men.
I was going to say some of the best traders that I've met are women. That's not a surprise at all.
Yeah.
I think what Crow's actually getting at there is, maybe he doesn't want to have the same profession as the girlfriend. I don't know. You tell us, Crow. Wally asking to check PBR. Let me check that here real quick before we leave.
Yeah, check it out, man.
So, all right. So PBR having a decent day here today. This is obviously Petrobras. This is going to move with some of the oil. I don't have a line here on oil. Oops. Let me go back to that. Hang on. And we'll click on the daily chart.
We're back to those lows on the Qs, and it recovers again.
Nice little bounce off support here. Maybe we do trade back up here. I think you might run into some resistance here in the next 30 cents here, maybe 10.60, Wally. All right, Mitch, I'm going to dip. I got a meeting right at 11, and I actually got to get something finished before that.
You got it, my friend. No worries.
Reminder, no show tomorrow, but we will be back Friday. I'll be here, Mitch. We'll be slanging trades. Let's go.
All right, we'll be wrapping up here in just a short minute here. We'll be wrapping up here. Just looking to see if the Qs are going to reverse here. It looks like they're trying to. That's why I have it on the 5 minute there. I talked about how now it's triple bottoming there and starting to turn there. So you got to be careful here. Don't want to give up these gains that we got on success. Of course, entries were down there towards 1805. We're up towards 1840s. Don't want to give up that profit there. But just looking to see what's going to happen with this 5 minute candle. Are we going to close lower than the previous close? 310.25s. We're pretty close to that close now. We got about, 3 minutes on this candle? 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So just keeping it a watch to see if the trend can continue. It's 10:56, team. Smash it up. Smash them up. We got all access coming up next, team, but definitely smash up those likes. All right, here's the Qs trying to reverse off of that bottoming action. I'm going to take the success and run here, take the profits. Boom, took the profits on that. Not liking the FAZ reversal too. We'll just take the money and run. It's that type of day for me. I'll take it. Boom. Close that FAZ. Closed them all. At the end, we only had one trade go in the red and pretty much everything else into the green there, especially, we did have some swing trades that were in the red. That's why I'm stating that. But Nike, good trade on that one. Lost on XOM, one on success, one on FAZ. I'll take that money and run, team. We'll see if it reverses. And if the Qs really want to come back, Micron still doesn't look too bad for me. But we'll see if that can come back there towards the VWAP. That's going to do it for my trading action today. Like always, you guys smash up the like, stick around because all access is coming on right now. Going to go ahead and switch. AB, you ready to go, my friend? All right, AB's getting in here. We'll switch over here to all access. And like always, stick around, team. There's always more to find out. This is where you guys get the story and find out behind the scenes, of course, the opportunities that are out there in the market. You guys check out the stories on All Access. I'll see you next time, AB. Have a good one, my friend.
You too, Mitch. See a great job on live trading today, as always. Alrighty, guys. I think without further ado, I see our guest hanging out backstage. Robert Stefanovich, the CFO of Cryoport, ticker CYRX. I'm really excited to talk about this company because it's something like this is the only company I've known or learned about that is doing what this company does. I don't want to, hold off any longer. So let's go ahead and bring our guest of honor up on the stream and welcome to Benzinga's All Access. All right, Mr. Stefanovich, welcome to Benzinga. How are you doing today?
Good morning. Excellent. Great to be on your show.
Great to have you. Well, so before we get started, because like I mentioned, I'm up here, researching and talking about a lot of different companies. Cryoport seems to be doing something that no one else is really doing. Give us an overview of the company.
Yes, absolutely. We are in a very unique position. Cryoport is a global leader of temperature-controlled supply chain solutions for the life sciences. And we have a specific focus on cell and gene therapies, really a new pillar within life sciences. Without doubt, cold chain supply chains become more and more important for medicines, especially as therapies become more personalized, fragile, and malleable. If you look at Cryoport, we are operating as an operating holding company. We have 4 main business units. Cryoport Systems is the leader in supporting cell and gene therapies. Cryogen is a leader in providing biostorage for life science materials and in Texas. And CryoPDP is the largest, third largest specialty courier by revenue, focused on temperature control supply chain solutions for the life sciences. And lastly, MV Biologic Solutions, our 4th business unit, is the global leader in the manufacturing of cryogenic solutions and freezers. So we have a very significant portfolio, all designed to support the supply chain. And while we support 3 markets, which is biopharma, animal health, and reproductive medicine, biopharma is the largest focus for us as a company. Look, if you step back a little bit, as CFO, it's obviously really exciting to be part of the cell and gene therapy market as a new part of life sciences.
Yeah, so I always like to kind of, especially when we're talking about things in the biotech or life sciences space, I love kind of getting into things in layman terms. So how would you explain, I guess, overall, what the company's doing to like someone who has zero knowledge of biotech or life sciences? Or I'll put it this way. How would you explain it to a 5-year-old? Is it as simple as making sure things that need to be cold stay cold while we ship them?
Yeah, in a way it is. It's obviously a lot more complex than that, if you're dealing with these cell therapies. But ultimately, if you're looking at the supply chain, and that's really, as a therapy is being developed, you draw blood for a patient or from a donor. You'll have to provide that material to really develop the therapy to manufacturing. And what we do is we provide the complete logistics of providing the so to speak starting material, the cells, to manufacturing and maintaining them at ultra low temperatures and this cryogenic temperatures. So we develop specific shippers, we develop specific real-time monitoring systems that allow us to manage the complete process from the time it's being transported, stored, brought into manufacturing. Once the therapy is being manufacturing, then again, that's where we come into play in the supply chain in making sure that the therapy is transported to the patient for infusion of the therapy. So that supply chain process is really developing a new industry standard that we've put together with our platform of solutions to really enable and ensure that these therapies are maintained at the right temperature prior to reaching the patient for infusion into the patient.
So, I mean, it kind of goes without saying, but in the nature of the business that you guys are in, I mean, people are putting in a tremendous amount of trust into Cryoport's, method and transporting these. How do you build up that trust so that you're seen as kind of the go-to player in the space for these types of needs?
Well, it really started out over 10 years ago. When you look at how we started, one location, a dozen employees, 10 years later, we're truly global. We have 48 locations in 17 countries. We're supporting thousands of clients around the world. So that is building a real strong relationship with really all the who's who really in the cell and gene therapy space. Yeah, if you look at earlier last year, one of the first pediatric patients that had acute lymphoblastic leukemia received a therapy that we supported, and she hit the 10-year mark of being cancer-free. So she's considered cured. And her name is Emily Whitehead, and she's living proof of these cell and gene therapies. Now, as a business model, we really support a large amount of clinical trials. So we're supporting now, as of year-end, we reported 654 clinical trials that we support. 79 are in phase 3, that's just pre-commercial, 300 in phase 2. So we're really, call it the tools play to the cell and gene therapy from a business model perspective. We're heavily entrenched. So we're supporting the who's who. We're supporting a large number of clinical trials. We're supporting 10 commercial therapies that are in the market now. But if you look at that spring load of 654 clinical trials, you see there's a large amount of therapies under development. And as they reach commercial approval, as they're distributed on a global basis and we support them, that obviously means significant revenue capture for us.
Yeah, and so what I'm curious about is how is Cryoport's Express Tech different than other players in the space? What about the technology kind of sets it apart from competition?
Well, there's a few things. One, we're first to market. So this is a new part of life sciences, been in development over the last 30 years, but now it's on the cusp where you see more and more commercial therapies being approved by the FDA or by the EMA in Europe. So that's a main differentiator in us, allowing us to really develop and further refine our competencies, our solutions, and broaden our platform. So what we've done is really apply technology when it comes to the shipper technology. We've applied software in developing what we'd call kind of our central nervous system in terms of managing the whole process on a global basis. So it's not just supporting one clinical trial or maybe 50 clinical trials. It's being able to support over 600 clinical trials. It's being able to support commercial therapies on a global basis. And that requires a lot of industry-specific knowledge. It requires you to be very close to your clients and understanding their pain points, and then developing solutions specifically to address those pain points in this new therapy, in this new market.
Got it. And then, Mr. Stefanovich, how's the business structured? Like, how is this actually monetized? Is it on every transaction that's shipped out? A certain, royalty comes back to you, or how's the business monetizing this?
So it's really a little bit broader than that, because obviously we're not standing still. We're continuously adding to our portfolio through acquisitions. We've done a number of now, I think 9 acquisitions in total over the last 2-3 years, as well as through organic growth. So it's really just broadening out our platform further and further. There's different components, whether it's related to obviously the number of patients being treated and the logistics related to that, but it's also related to biostorage, bioservices. As an example, last year we opened our first 2 global supply chain centers in Houston, New Jersey. They offer the full spectrum of not only logistics, but also biostorage, bioservices. So as this industry further develops and we increase our platform, we're looking for more and more ways to capture revenue along the supply chain of these cell therapies, really leveraging our position. And the other aspect to that is, for these therapies to really be successful long-term in terms of the global distribution, you have to establish industry standards. And we've done that in a number of areas related to the logistics for these cell therapies. And we're continuously driving to establish more and more industry standards that will help the supply chain be more effective, more efficient. But it also obviously builds a moat around what we're doing from competition coming in a meaningful way.
So you have some sort of, is that what, could you describe that as some sort of like horizontal integration that you're kind of, capturing different parts of the industry? So it's not just simply the transportation of the therapy to one location to the other?
Absolutely. It's much more than just the logistics or transportation. That's when we really shifted from logistics, like we talked about years ago, to really more supply chain, because we're looking at really a much deeper entrenchment in this market. And we're going to continue that. So, we have a very strong balance sheet. We have, over 520 million in cash and short-term investments. We're going to continue to drive organic growth. We're going to continue to drive meaningful acquisitions, whether it's global expansion, whether it's technology acquisitions, or other that really allow us to further entrench ourselves in the supply chain for the cell and gene therapies. That's kind of the critical aspect. If you look at the overall organization, with 48 locations, 17 countries, over 1,000 employees, so we have the resources to really be kind of the strong player in this market and continue to expand our solutions. And again, you'll see that moving forward. We've closed the year with about 237 million in revenues. We gave guidance of about 270 to 290 million in revenue. So mid-range is about 18% growth. And we feel confident about reaching those or exceeding those revenue guidances that we gave.
Yeah, and so speaking of, revenue guidance and goals, I know in the last quarter you guys reported a 27% year-over-year revenue growth. Where did that growth come from? How did you accomplish that?
Yeah, that specific 27% year-over-year revenue growth you mentioned is actually related to one revenue stream within our company, and that's related to the commercial therapies that we're supporting. And again, you have to understand that while cell and gene therapies have been developing over 30 years, we're now at the point where we have less than a dozen cell therapies that are formally approved by the FDA or the EMA in Europe, but you have over 1,000 clinical trials in development. So you have the spring load that's ultimately going to drive revenue as these become commercially available and distributed on a global basis. And obviously, not all of them will be successful. But I think the beauty of, from an investor perspective, if you look at Cryoport, is look, if you invest in Cryoport, you invest in the success of the cell and gene therapy space. You're not investing in one specific therapy being being successful or not, because obviously we know not every therapy will be successful. But this is a kind of in a way to almost play like an index fund, where you say, well, it's clear that cell and gene therapies are advancing. There's a lot of successes. They're very effective. And one way to invest in this market is really to invest in Cryoport because of the large number of therapies that we're supporting.
Got it. That makes sense. So, let's transition a little bit here, and I want to talk about some partnerships. So what does the recent partnership with Syneos Health look like? What will it do for the Cryoport business going forward?
So that's a new, exciting initiative, and we have a number of partnerships, and then you'll see a number of more partnerships in this arena. So obviously, in general, we work with all of the manufacturers, whether it's the biopharma companies itself or whether it's the CDMOs, the third-party manufacturers. And partnerships like these are all related to our new platform, the IntegraCell platform. And I know we have limited time, but I'll try to just cut it short. So the IntegraCell platform is really look at yet another pain point in the supply chain, and that is ensuring that you have the right starting materials, the cells, either from a donor or from a patient, that are being delivered into manufacturing, at the right temperature, and ensuring that you have high quality starting material to manufacture the actual therapy. So we're looking there is we're actually leveraging our global network and working with partners to really look at that upfront process from the time you draw blood and cells from a patient or from a donor to getting it into manufacturing, and to standardize that process, because that's another area where the industry needs a standard to ensure that you have the same processes in place as you develop therapies for consistency purposes.
Got it. And then so in terms of just the overall life sciences industry, have you seen any major shifts in the last few years, or have you, what are your insights there about the industry overall?
Look, I think for me, the seismic shift is really, the cell and gene therapy space. That's something that a lot of people have been looking at for many years, and you've seen significant advancements. This is on the cusp of really showing a significant growth in terms of commercial therapy sitting in the market. That's probably the most exciting. And you'll see more and more developed in and around, cell and gene therapies. That's our main mission, really, to drive industry standards for the supply chain of that market. So that's really, I think, probably what most people are very excited about. In the past, there have been some views about, how is the current macroeconomic situation going to impact, the industry. And I think, cell and gene are just, so exciting that I don't think anything is really going to hold back the advancement of these really life-saving therapies.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting is I think especially in the biotech life sciences space, you sometimes have opportunities like that. That doesn't matter what the economic backdrop is, right? Investors and people are going to want to get involved. Well, Robert Stefanovich, the CFO of Cryoport, thanks again for hopping on with Benzinga today. My last question will be, do you have any hot takes? I guess you kind of answered it right there. So here, I won't ask you for hot takes because you kind of answered there, the genome. Was it interesting being in the supply chain business during the pandemic when all of a sudden everyone was talking about, supply chain issues, supply chain that, and how did Cryoport kind of navigate through that difficult time with the pandemic?
Yeah, interesting is an interesting definition of it. It certainly was. I think there certainly were challenges. I kept reminding the team in general, the silver lining is when things get tough, and you are really able to support your client base, your partners, and you can actually demonstrate your skill set, you really come out very, very strong. And I think that's what we did do. I think we managed, a lot of the challenges that anyone experienced within supply chain. We stayed very close to our client base, very close to our partners, and that really just further creates a stronger bond, with customers and with our partners.
There you have it. All right. Well, Robert Stefanovich, again, the CFO of Cryoport. The ticker is up on the screen, CYRX. Thank you again for hopping on with us today.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. All righty, everyone. Again, please go check out Cryoport if you're interested in the supply chain of life sciences. I think it's pretty cool. Ticker is up on the screen, CYRX. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Please smash the like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We will be doing more of these all accesses that get you, insider kind of info with executives of those companies. So I love doing the interviews. Hope you guys like watching them. We will be back for sure on tomorrow with pre-market prep and some other programming, but we will be having our quarterly meeting at Benzinga from 9 a.m. till TBD. So I'm not sure what time we'll be starting Benzinga Live, if at all, but either way, we'll be back in the morning with some great content and again on Friday. So make sure you're here. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back this afternoon with swing trading as well as some other shows. So please, again, subscribe, like the channel, show us some love because we're bringing you all this great content till we're back again tomorrow. Take care.